I remember Isabel opened her hand and it fell to the ground. I told her to cheer up, for her father would be glad to see her. I wanted her to look at me, but she wouldn't. I wanted to see in her eyes. There's the other one I sent here. Where are my wife and daughter? What are their names? My wife is Philippa, and Alison is my daughter. Who are you? I am James Markley. Where did you last see Philippa? I remember I was walking across the yard just after dusk. I heard her speak my name and I spun startled. I saw her standing by the gate in the firelight. Where did you last see Alison? I remember her saying good night to me as I sat at my desk, writing an urgent letter. I could barely make her out in the doorway by the light of the lantern. She lingered a moment longer, then disappeared into shadow. She was gone in the morning. She left a note saying she was going to find her sister. So Simon Holt went with her. I sent Clement Wright and 2 others after them. This locker is inscribed with your wife's initials. It is hers. It was given to her as a gift by my late mother. God rest her. I found it near the remains of a woman who had been bound to a tree. Then she is truly dead. I remember hearing her speak my name as I walked across the yard after dusk. I spun startled and saw her standing by the gate in the firelight. She turned and walked into the night, but I did not follow, for I feared it could only be a phantom come to lure me to my doom. I'll ring the bell and... Nope, nothing new there. Therefore, the stories aren't quite complete. That one's complete. A silver locker with a broken chain. It contains an image of a saviour. The initials PM are inscribed on the back. It was a gift from James Markley's mother to his wife Philippa. Victim mauled. The remains of a woman who was bound to a tree and mauled by wild animals. The victim was Philippa Markley, wife of James. But why did that happen? I feel like there's more to that story. Yep, none of those are complete, so definitely more to those stories. Is there still something in here for me? Ah yes, a shadow. Where is my father? This must be Alison. Where did you last see him? In a field. I remember him clutching his scabbard to him. I saw that it was damaged. He was whispering something important. Is this the shape from his scabbard? Yes. Then you're Isabel Emery. Not the person I thought. Yes. Okay. Pretty sure there'll be more to that story, yep. Yep, there's definitely more to it. I just realised I had the short bow out. Another shadow. Isabel. Is this your scabbard? Yes. Then you are Roger Emery. Yes, I remember. What happened? I remember she leaned close to me. She was crying. I told her to smile for me. I reached out to wipe away her tears. It took all my courage, all my strength. A woman's scarf crusted with dried blood. Damn. There's still more to that story. Okay, we're back in the main base. Isabel Emery. Your father remembers wiping away your tears. He told me to smile. He told me to be strong. I found this bloody scarf. I remember kneeling over him where he lay face down in the dirt. I pulled off my scarf and pressed it against the wound to try to stop the blood from spilling out of him. He was clutching his scabbard to him. I saw that it was damaged and that his sword was still sheathed. He hadn't even drawn it. He was whispering something important. It was the name of his murderer. I begged him not to die, but he was already gone. After a time, I drew out his sword and walked up the path to the fort to kill Oswin Ford. Oswin Ford must have been the murderer. Isabel Emery tried to kill you? She did. I remember the men pulling her away from me. The blade of the rapier had struck my belt, which spared me a more grievous wound, but the pain was still immense. Isabel cursed me as a murderer and a coward. I remembered how when I thrust my sword into Roger Emery's spine, he dropped his scabbard and the scape broke off. I told him it was bad luck for it was a handsome scabbard. Then I pulled my blade free and watched him drop to his knees. So he did murder Roger Emery. I told him that if you mean to duel a man, you deem a coward and a cur. You should keep your guard up lest he seek to give you a dishonourable death. Then I left him there and walked back to the fort. Isabel must have found him before he died. When I kicked away the stool she was standing on, the rope went taut and she swung from the gate. Slowly strangling, she opened her hand and the shape from her father's scabbard fell to the ground. Damn. I told her to cheer up, for her father would be glad to see her. I wanted her to look at me, but she wouldn't. I wanted her to see in her eyes. So it was her that was hanging from this. That's why her shadow was here. Damn. Nothing new there. I'll check here one more time. Nope. Woman scarfs face with dried blood. Isabel Emery used it to try to stop her father from bleeding to death. A noose hangs from the crossbeam at Fort Hope. Isabel Emery was hanged after trying to kill Oswin Ford for murdering her father. I might stop the bell, finish reading those. A brown leather rapier scabbard was with intricate silver buckles and fittings. The shape that protected its tip is missing. Oswin Ford remembers the shape breaking off when Roger Emery dropped it. Roger Emery dropped it when Oswin Ford stabbed him in the back. An ornamental silver shape for a rapier scabbard. Isabel Emery dropped it in the yard. She dropped it when she was hanged. There's still more to each of those stories. Roger Emery, Fort Hope is complete. Oswin Ford is worried about Roger Emery. He remembers that they wandered away from the path down the hill from the fort. Roger was boasting about the quality of his sword. Roger dropped his scabbard and the shape broke off. Oswin told him it was bad luck. Roger dropped his scabbard because Oswin stabbed him in the back. Roger told his daughter that Oswin Ford killed him. Yep. Isabel Emery. Isabel is worried about her father. She remembers seeing him in a field. He was clutching his scabbard, whispering something she felt was important. Isabel remembers using her scarf to try to stop her father from bleeding to death. He told her that Oswin Ford killed him. Oswin remembers men pulling Isabel away from him. She had stabbed him with her father's rapier, but the point hit his belt, sparing him a worse injury. Oswin remembers Isabel dropping the shape from her father's scabbard. He told her to cheer up, saying her father would be glad to see her. He remembered that she was being hanged at that moment. So Roger Emery's murderer got away. Scot-free, basically. Damn. Another shadow? Where is Tabitha? Who is Tabitha? My daughter. I was sitting beside their bedside. Alison was asleep already, but Tabitha seemed restless. I brushed the hair from her face and she smiled at me. I hummed a lullaby I had sung since they were both girls, and soon she was fast asleep. I suppose I nodded off sitting there, for I woke shivering in the dark, and then I realized Tabitha was gone. I'm thinking the lady in red is either Tabitha or Alison's, one of the two. I'm thinking more Tabitha. We found no trace of her. The sentries swore they had not seen her, but her clothes were gone. Clothing was gone. My husband rode into the forest to search for her, but he could not find her. Do you recognize this locket? It is mine. Then you must be Philippa Markley. Yes. What happened to you? I remember telling my husband that I wanted to see Tabitha again. He said she was never coming home. Damn. Still more there, still more, still more. The maiden in red, I'm thinking, is either Tabitha or Alison. Oops. Oh. Another totem. I'm needing to go back to Fort Hope. Can't think of where else there's health on this map. It seems you have two daughters. I did once, but Tabitha is not my daughter anymore. I cast her out from our family. Why? She ran off to the savages. Then that's why you said she wasn't coming home. Philippa confessed that she knew Tabitha was fond of a savage boy. That Tabitha had made a pendant from an arrowhead he had given her, that she sometimes left the fort with him alone, without chaperone or escort. My wife had hidden these things from me. She had lied to me. I bound her to a tree deep in the forest where no one would hear her screaming. When the beasts came for her, I told her it was the price of treason. Ooh. Damn. So he killed his wife because she lied to him. Oh, that's a bit harsh. Still more for each of them. Philippa Markley's story is complete. James Markley is worried about his wife Philippa. He remembers hearing her speak his name as he walked across the yard after dusk. She was standing by the gate in the firelight. When he saw her in the yard, she turned and disappeared into the night. He did not follow, fearing her a phantom. Philippa is dead. She was bound to a tree in the woods and mauled by wild animals. She told her husband she wanted to see her daughter, and he said she wasn't coming home. James killed Philippa because she did not tell him that Tabitha was taken with an Indian youth. He claims Tabitha ran off to be with him. Wow. Damn. Will you have anything to say now? Do you recognize this silver locket? Yes, it is my mother's. I'm sure of it. Then you are Alison Markley, daughter of James and Philippa, sister of Tabitha. I remember now. Why wouldn't I think of it before? Why couldn't I think of it before? There's an achievement. Who am I? Your father said that Tabitha ran off to the Indians. Tabitha was very taken with an Indian boy. She sometimes snuck away to see him, but she always returned. You went into the woods to find your sister. I could feel that she was suffering, that she needed me. Nobody believed me. I begged my father to search for her again, to take me with him. He refused. I remember him sitting at his desk by faint lantern light, scribbling fiercely with a quill. I called good night from the doorway. He looked up at me, but did not speak. I knew he was still angry that I had mentioned Tabitha, so I turned away and didn't look back. Your father killed your mother. That cannot be. She didn't tell him that Tabitha was in love with an Indian. I didn't think she knew. I have learned the fate of a wraith. Oswald Ford cheated in a duel against Roger Emery to avenge his pride. How can a man avenge his pride by sullying it? It seems Isabel Emery was hanged for trying to kill Ford with her father's blade. Though I pity her, it was foolish of her to think she would please her father by resorting to treachery when it was treachery that killed him. I have a gift for you. This silver locket that belonged to your mother. It is a precious gift. You have my thanks. Wrong button. That flag is our family crest. My father decided he would fly it wherever he was in residence, as the king does. I find the notion rather presumptuous. So she actually is a princess. Okay. I can't tell him about his daughter? Can't tell him about Alison? That is actually still alive? It seems to be the only person in this world that is still alive? very close to it now. Okay, already cleared it somehow. The wind has shifted to... Okay. That looks like this world is done. I think that one is a shadow. Yep. So all the totems are done. Shadows and wraiths are the only ones marked on the map left. And I'm thinking... I entered the map down here, so I'm thinking the next way to go is out that way. We'll head there, go there, and then there, just to make sure everything is done, and then I'll head that way.